Why can't we just live here? We could rent a booth, set up a little tent, survive on hot dogs and stale nachos.
Because you die from a comic book overdose in like 3 hours.
I'd die happy, and it'd be worth it. Ooh, I've been looking for those hardcovers.
You can't buy everything, Mark Grayson.
Watch me!
Hey, panelists, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark.
And I'm Jayme.
And this is Panels to Pixels podcast, and we are covering or continuing our coverage of Invincible Season 2, and we're on episode 7. So this is a spoiler-full podcast, as always. So if you haven't watched the episode, which I'm pretty sure you did, it came out Thursday. We're recording this on Monday the 1st. So April Fool's, everybody.
Surprise! It's not about Invincible. We're actually covering The Walking Dead now.
Oh, God. Yeah, we could talk about that later, too, which is interesting.
I haven't watched it yet. Shush.
Oh, well, then we won't talk about that then. But we're covering Invincible Season 2, Episode 7, which is I'm Not Going Anywhere. That's what it's called, the episode. So the synopsis, Jayme?
As Mark attempts to salvage his personal life, a new villain arrives, presenting Invincible with his greatest challenge yet. Donald grapples with his past.
Which is funny because it's not just Donald that's grappling with his past. There's a couple other people, too, that are dealing with their own issues. We got Rex, and we got William.
Rick. William's boyfriend.
Oh, it's Rick. I keep getting them backwards. I don't know why I shouldn't, because William's so interesting. But
he was. They nerfed him.
They nerfed him. But everybody seems to have their own problems. Even Amber and Mark have their own problems at this point during the episode itself, which sucks. And I'm just, floored. And it's just wild. So this really hit hard on a lot of points with like a lot of the drama that's been going on. Mark still has to deal with his whole Viltrumite heritage at the very end. And then we get somebody at the very last minute. And yeah, spoilers, everybody. Angstrom shows up at the last minute. We could talk about that whole ending scene that happened and how that affects what's going to be coming on. And then, we have one more episode after this, or
I believe so.
So one more episode. And then,
but as the show taught us, animation is really, really fast. So I figure we'll have a new season pretty quick.
I hope so. That would be great. But what were your initial thoughts overall about the episode?
I thought it was a good episode. The weakest of the season so far, but that's not necessarily bad. I mean, something has to be the weakest. I like that it was a little, they weren't packing as much into it as they have the other episodes. Like the other episodes were like, bam, bam, bam. Like there was a lot in them. This one, it's by no means a filler episode, but it was a more breathable episode.
Yeah, you could breathe a little bit here and there, and then next thing you know, you hit over the head with something that happens.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of gore in this one. There was some gore.
There was some gore, but nonetheless, a lot of it was more the drama and more, like I always say, character development of certain people. And we see that more so within Donald when he's talking to Rick. We get that a little bit from Rex and his figuring things out. Mark and Amber and their relationship, where they're at and where they're going, or maybe not going. So we'll get into that when we talk about that. And on top of that, we have another cute and funny scene from Alan the Alien, but dealing with Viltrumites.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that fact. It's like we get more Alan Alien, but we see a more invincible Alan Alien. He's able to take on Anissa, who's the female Viltrumite, and get her to bleed.
Yeah, now we just need 40, 50 more of him.
Yeah, exactly right. We got to talk to Peter Cullen, his character, and get more of them out of there. I forget what they call
I'm thinking,
Alan.
I'm thinking Oliver's going to come into play too. with this.
I think I think Oliver. Well, we already see a little bit more of that, and that's a little bit more of Debbie's growth herself too, because she has that nice conversation with Mark, and then she mentions how her life literally revolves around Mark and Oliver at this point. So it's showing her embracing Oliver more and more. So that is her family, and she
Yeah.
actually says that to the nanny that's there as well. Especially when she tries to stop her work partner, who's trying to get a little bit intimate with her and from coming in and everything. Because it's like, I have to show you. I don't want to show you my purple kid.
She did accept a date, though.
She did, which is good. It's her moving on. But there was also talk about how Nolan dated her, which was really cool. That was good opening, eye opening.
Yeah.
It's like instead of flowers, he brings her a tree.
That was so funny.
Because she goes basically how to train your father how to be more human. And, it's literally because Mark came to her about Amber and his relationship with Amber at that point. And let's talk about it because it's the first thing that we do see, and this is where we get to geek out a little bit because we see Amber and Mark of all things at a comic convention.
Yes.
And Mark does exactly what some of us always do.
Stand online and get an autograph.
And she goes, we're literally standing on this long a line.
Yes. I'm going to be standing on one May 4th. Alan Tudyk. He's going to be in Philly. I'm not missing him.
Yeah. So, but it's for the creator of Seance Dog, which was Philip Schaff. And that's obviously in reference to what we knew from the previous season previous season, because the Seance Dog comes to Mark to save the planet, and it's not really. And it's the bug people that come for Mark to help him out, and it's their way of trying to convincing him because and it was funny too because William at that point is like, oh my god, am I tripping on something? This is a Seance Dog. So but this is where we get into the really meta part of the actual episode.
It was my favorite part of the episode.
Same here, because it's literally telling us exactly what had happened during the pandemic and why they had to do what they had to do, and how they were able to record. A lot of people think, oh, it's animation, and it shouldn't take that long because literally all you're doing is recording a voice, and it's just adding voice. Voice editing is definitely a lot easier. It's a lot of hours of recording sometimes, but yeah, it's not podcasting, obviously, because we could do this on a whim and just have it live. But when it comes to the actual animation in itself, it's funny how the way they talk about it. It's like the joke of like whenever someone is speaking, they always turn the camera away to show the other person, and in this case, Mark's got covering his mouth while the other guy is Philip Schaff is talking.
Yeah, I mean, they were being blatantly obvious with that. Well, first they edited it so you didn't see, from the nose up.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, they do that a lot. Like,
yeah, they not all the time, but they do in this case. But it's so funny how it's like, all right, we're just gonna be like, here, this is how it's made. Everybody, they have fun with it, and they have a good time with it. The back of the head, and like they do a wide shot.
yeah.
So they do all these things that are pretty unique to animation to show more depth and just have the voiceover as it is to continue the story, which I think is always pretty cool. But
yeah, it was awesome.
I just love the idea of the whole convention format of it.
There were people cosplaying as Invincible.
Yes.
That was brilliant. Like, do I look like that? look over there. And there was a whole like meetup of Invincible cosplayers, which was kind of awesome.
Yeah, honestly, this whole episode reminded me of the Peter Parker Mary Jane conversations that always happen throughout the comics. If
Yeah.
you look at Marvel, and I'm referencing Spider-Man because I love Marvel, I love Spider-Man, but you could tell that this kind of mimics that same attitude. And in this case, though, Amber can't handle, and in this particular episode, because there are a couple of times where, like, she understood in the very beginning where she goes, "You're gonna abandon me at a comic convention? You're gonna leave me here?" And then he does, and then he has to deal with what he has to deal with Octo, Boss, and Rex.
Yeah. But I mean, he didn't want to leave her there, and he was missing the best part. Artist Alley is the best part of the comic convention.
Artist Alley, for those that don't know or not really into comics as much, or even just in general with artists too, because sometimes they'll have regular artists generally there and they do their own version of things. So literally, you could get comic book artists out there as well as the writers, and then they will sign the comics. They will do a little bit of art for you.
You can commission an artwork. I have a friend who, and I forget exactly what he picks, but he gets, like, let's say it's Batman. I know it's not Batman, but
yeah.
Every time he goes to a convention, he goes to an artist and commissions them to draw him a Batman. And he's just got a wall of Batmans drawn by different people, which is like really cool. It's a really cool idea.
I think that's a great idea because he's probably just fond of Batman. And but it's a way to have somebody's interpretation of their idea of Batman. Some people have different
and like
ideas.
I said, it's not Batman. I forget exactly what he has done, but
even still, just to give you an idea. And it's always interesting to go to these things because you get to meet the actual artist. You can talk to them how they approach when they get the storyline, because sometimes artists will actually dictate the art, like the actual storyline, without even having the story in front of them. So each panel is very different in comparison to others, but it dictates what's going on and movement in the story itself. Because I've seen it where artists do the actual panels and draw out the book itself, and then the writer actually has to come up with the story and what the dialogue is within it and have to figure out what's going on, which is very opposite of what happens. Normally they're giving like an idea of the story. And I think John Byrne, Jim Lee, a whole bunch of others from I'm talking Variety because they worked in DC and Marvel and even Image. So they've done that, and it's amazing to see that process. But you're able to talk to them and get to know and pick their brain a little bit, and like Jamie said, you could commission them to draw you something.
And there's also unique. Sometimes they have their own just random art that's there, and if you're going to meet somebody, like I like to go through Artist Alley first and see if there's any artwork of that person that I want to get signed. Like I want to get some, like con I was at earlier this year was a small con, but the voice of Frylock was there. And one of the artists did this really cool Aqua Teen Hunger Force kind of like baby-ish style, like cutesy style.
Oh man.
But I loved it, and I was like, okay, that I'm gonna buy that from you and support art and then get it signed.
Yeah, I actually have something that an old friend of mine, he did Milk and Cheese. And if you guys all remember that, I think that was probably on Aqua Teen Hunger Force at one point, utilize those characters. But it was an old comic book run, Evan Dorkin. And Evan, I knew from Jim Hanley's universe when I lived in Staten Island. And I constantly went to Jim Hanley since the age of 13 all the way up into my 20s. Evan was always the consummate artist and was always there as an employee. And he also did Figments and You All Laugh, where I got the name for the actual network, Pirate Corps. So he wrote a comic called Pirate Corps, but that was space pirates, and they were kind of and core was spelt with the S on it was a $. So it was them about money and everything, but had really nothing to do with it. Figments, I have the first 3 issues of both, and they're very, very hard to come by from what I'm told. But I was into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles around the times of between ages of 12 till I was 15, 16. I think I got into the first 35 issues of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I only have issues 2, unfortunately. Yeah, 2, the original copies, all the way till about 35, 36, I think it was, from the original run. And he did I still have it. He did his idea of what Raphael would look like.
Oh, that's cool.
So I got that, and I still have it to this day, and he signed it. But like Jamie said, you could get these guys to commission anything you want, and so people do their own rendition of things. It's really cool. Cons are fun, as we could tell, or they're strange, according to Amber, for some people.
But, like Mark wanted to live there, and I don't blame him. I have those feelings too. If it wasn't for con crud, it'd be a great place to live.
That smell from other people.
You always come home with some kind of illness.
And then
knock on wood.
Food.
My last one, I didn't come home with anything.
Yeah. They're fun to go to. It's a lot of camaraderie within it too, because it's community, everybody. So for those of you who have never gone and are interested, just try it out once. And if you don't like it, you don't have to do it again.
For anybody near Philly, Fan Expo Philly is actually having the artist of Invincible this year in May.
Yep.
For May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Yep.
And if you'd like to learn how to use a lightsaber, I will be there to train you.
So we find out Mark abandons Amber to help out Rex because Cecil winds up calling him. And he's like, I'm sorry, I love you, bye. And it's like one of those things. Goes on his way, and Rex is out there on a solo mission trying to take down these squiddy looking dudes with an octo boss. And as the fight continues, it's literally Rex trying to deal with his own comeback and not being completely normal. Not that he was normal to begin with. Come on, anybody who has superpowers or anything like that isn't really normal, but he's part robot at this point. And I just loved how the Octoboss was talking. It kind of reminded me of like a Hulk / Yoda, the way he kept talking.
Yeah. I mean, I like that Rex was able to find his confidence. But I did not like that he was making fun of the poor dude. Like, I appreciate you I forget exactly what it was like. I appreciate you trying to learn my language, but you should have done a better job at it. Like, dude.
Yeah,
you didn't learn his language.
Yeah, well, talk wise to someone who's got a cannon turret on their arm.
Right.
But and then Rex finds out he's got a useful gift from the robotics that he had, and just had like this big gun inside his hand.
Yeah. Like, ooh, lead with that next time.
Yeah, exactly. Because I didn't even know where that came from. I just like a lot of the stop splash pages. Very much what they were talking about before in the previous scene during the comic conventions when the creator of Seance Dog was talking about how they do animation, and then there was a few points where they stop it, where it looks like a splash page on a comic during a fight scene. I thought that was pretty cool. And
that was really cool.
I love how that Mark comes and helps him, and comes to Rex's aid, and he's able to help him out. But I just love the one line that Rex says to say, "You can grow teeth back with all the things you've gone through. You're awesome." And the fact is, you think about it, it's like, yeah, Mark got the teeth punched out so many times.
So many times. Dude, that is a useful skill. I've always been jealous of sharks that they can just lose teeth and get new ones.
Yeah, I would love that for, well, then it's my theory and my well, not my theory, but my that want of anybody like the lizard in Spider-Man. He's able to grow an appendage back, you lose an arm or whatever. I always wish that for many of friends who I know that are missing some sort of appendage out there and then come back so that they have something and just grow one. I know people that lost a toe, lost an arm, lost a leg, a hand. I'm not talking Rick Grimes' hand, but yeah, now that we are talking about another Robert Kirkman, title in comic. But yeah, I always thought that was pretty cool that Mark is able to like heal fast and grow those teeth back.
Yeah.
And then we get to see a lot. Like I said, we talked about a lot of character growth and a lot of people and learning, and with the drama itself. Black Samson talking to Bulletproof, and Bulletproof being very skeptical about the team of the Guardians of the Globe, and how Black Samson was saying how this is more of a family. You're still new. You're not understanding this, because they were looking at how Rudy was pushing Monster Girl with what was going on, because Rudy, as robot, he's technically another robot. He basically wants it so that she doesn't have to regress into like a baby at one point, because every time she uses her power, she gets younger. And it's the reverse Benjamin Button, or maybe it is like Benjamin Button.
No, it's Benjamin Button.
Okay.
Yeah, he
started out
cares
old
about her,
yeah,
and he's trying to look out for her.
Yeah, and then she's getting really pissed off at it, because they're trying to have her use like a robot version of her monster. And, she couldn't get it, or it wasn't working. But at the very end, she winds up taking out whatever she had to, which is funny. And then her just like being pissed off at Rudy. And it's one of those relationships, because you can tell how Rudy does truly care about her. I don't know if it's Zachary Quinto and they just do something to his voice. And
it still says it's Zachary Quinto,
which I'm pretty interested in. So every time I look at the Amazon thing, you could go down on your Apple TV and it tells you.
Anytime you watch on Amazon, however you watch.
Yeah. Yeah. And
if you're a podcaster, Amazon is the way. If podcast on Amazon shows, it makes it so much easier.
Especially with subtitles and everything else too. But I got yelled at by a friend of mine. She goes, "Why are we watching this with subtitles?" I'm sorry. I'm so used to having subtitles on. I don't want to watch it. I was like, okay. We got to turn it off. But yeah, it was interesting to have that whole dynamic, and then Black Samson literally talking to Bulletproof, because it's as if Black Samson is literally talking to us about the dynamics of what's going on within the team itself.
Yeah, that was nicely done.
Yeah, so Corey Payton did a great job with his little speech and speechifying to Bulletproof.
And then also we got if we're a family, then mom and dad are getting a divorce.
Yeah, that's a good line. Then what does it lead on to? I think William helping Rick
William
with his nightmare.
Rick has his really, really scary nightmare.
Yeah, it's out of a horror movie. You can see body parts and stuff in the back.
Yeah.
And it's literally him dealing with the fact that he's not human really anymore. And the visions and the dreams are like real, and he can't deal with them. And William wants to be there for him because he truly does care for him.
But it's hard because nobody understands. Unless you've been through a certain thing, like you don't know. If you've been through some kind of trauma, unless somebody's been through the same kind of trauma, they just don't get it.
Yeah, and then we get Rick on the roof. And then this is after Donald deals with Cecil, and Cecil basically sits him down with a whole bunch of video files of how many times Donald died.
Yeah, was it 90?
39.
39.
39.
Oh yeah, it's that he's 98% robot now.
Yeah. And Donald asked for his mind to be wiped every time. So he didn't know.
Yeah.
And this time he is not wanting that. And with that, we see the struggle in Donald, but he's also there to help Rick too at that point on that roof, which is really good. And
Yeah.
it shows there's more humanity than robot at that point. It's showing the humanity of the person in comparison to what they are. And I think that's literally what that whole scene was based upon. It's just showing that they are more than what they are made up of.
Yeah, it
And
was really
yeah,
beautiful and touching.
it was good. And it showed more of a level of like somebody who's not really a superhero, because Donald, if you look at it, he's just another agent. And it's
He's an
somebody
agent, but he keeps having his heroic moments
he does. He
that take
does.
his life.
But in saving other people too.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. It's just that he's the one that never gets talked about or gets the limelight.
Yeah.
So I thought it was definitely a great scene between those characters and how Donald was able to approach it and then give his perspective on what happened to him and giving William something to live for rather than take his own life.
Rick.
I keep saying William.
Yeah.
That dude. or should I say Flash Thompson, because that's what I think of when I see Rick, because he's a big dude and Williams always got go over him anyway. We get, of course, Reginald Vell Johnson as Dean Winslow, as he has to sit down with Mark and talk about his academic career.
I mean, even when he's not on another planet, how often is he actually able to go to school, study?
Yeah.
Do any of that?
Yeah, and it's Mark's decision to stay in school and continue
Try and be
on with it.
normal.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, we mentioned Reginald Vell Johnson as Dean Winslow, which is pretty funny because he was basically Carl Winslow at one point on TV.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we all know him from Die Hard, who's getting Twinkies. So when, Bruce Willis was shooting from the Nakatomi building down to his plaza. Sorry. I'm sure Ben will yell at me, or he's yelling at the podcast now. Yeah, so we get that whole development of Mark and his education and what's going on. Through that, it moves on the episode, and it does move fast, like Jamie says, which is so funny because I think I clocked the episode at around 40 minutes or so, and it's pretty fast with everything that they do. So the moving, I'm wondering, it's like if those of you that are comic readers of Invincible, where does this fit in, and how many issues do they really culminate into one episode at this point? I'm curious.
That'd be interesting. Like, I wonder how many storylines are being moved in
or moved around.
Yeah.
At this point, and I've seen it. We talked about it when Jamie and I spoke about Sandman as a compendium. There's two big compendiums, and they're huge and thick. They have the same thing for Invincible, but I think Invincible, if you look at it, they have 3 compendiums that are thick. They're a good 3 to almost 4 inches thick, and each, and that's a lot of comics, everybody. But for you comic readers, I'm pretty sure you're following along, and either you're complaining or loving the idea of how fast it's moving. Because some of us,
there's no in between with that.
No, there is no in between. It's like, yeah, I'll give them a pass, and it's like, no. Very much how everybody feels like The Walking Dead and how that worked out, and how certain characters were changed out for others and things of that nature. But
we we touched on it earlier, the Mark and Debbie conversation. I thought that was really, really impressive. Like speaking as a mom, having your adult child come to you for advice still and confide in you and have like a real conversation with you, and then being able to talk to them like you're an actual human. You're not just mom. Like, you had a life and you can talk about your life with them. Like, that's a goal.
It is. It's one of those where you could connect with somebody. Well, in your case, it would be somebody that came out of your body and you brought up. And a lot of mothers do want that with their children, and I think my sister-in-law is dealing with that now because her kids are adults, literally, at this point. They're in college.
Mine are
Jamie has still have
tiny
them,
ones.
tiny ones. They're still running around, and
Yeah, mom is not an adult. Mom is not a person. Mom is mom.
mom is mom right
Mom
now.
is here to do whatever you want, whenever you want.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like when you need, I'm here. But that's something to look forward to in adult life when you have children. I'm assuming. Yeah, me, I don't have any kids, but I see it through other people's eyes as being the uncle. I've seen it through at least two kids in their 30s that my sister Lisa had. So my nephew and my niece, and then now my niece is from my brother. So, and then of course I have my friends' kids, like Jamie and her kids, and then I have a few other friends that have their own kids, and they're like, it's funny when their kids are like teenagers and they're coming up to me for not for advice, but just to talk to me, and I'm like, why don't you talk to your stepfather?
Yeah, it's always easier to talk to another different grown up.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk to you. Why don't you talk to your mom? No, I don't want to talk to mom. She's going to yell at me. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, really? But the fact is that, we get Mark coming to his mother for like that parental advice, or not even parental. It's literally life advice.
And it was really cool because you read comic books, watch superhero movies, you see everything through the superhero's eyes. So seeing the relationship and what it's like to live with a superhero from the human, normal humans perspective was really, really interesting. And then having that little moment where she said, I had to train him to be human, that kind of equalized us. Like that was something important.
Yeah.
And that's also something that Amber and Mark don't have.
No, because Mark tries to protect her at all times. And then Amber's always trying to protect his identity and everything that was going on.
They
So
have a
it's
different relationship.
dynamic. It's a different whole relationship in comparison to what Nolan and Debbie had, or even I think Immortal and his wife. There was I'm forgetting the other the heroes that had died, because even Debbie had to deal with that. I remember the speedster guy, his wife had to deal with that as well.
Yeah.
At one point, and she was trying to help out. It's one of those. We didn't really talk about that too much when we covered season 1, because that kind of like came and went so fast,
Yeah.
But yeah, they did touch on those topics a little bit, but this was more of a serious tone. This, like you said, I enjoyed this episode as well, but it's not the greatest, but it hit home when it came to story and plot and characters.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense. Now we're just waiting for the ultimate end to this season of where it's going to leave us
There's
off.
still so many things. I'm really intrigued.
Yeah.
I feel like, I've said this before and been wrong, but they don't wrap up. Maybe the only storyline that gets wrapped up is Amber and Mark.
Yeah, literally. Because I hate saying it ends, but at least it ends mutually and understandingly between both of them. But it's so heartbreaking to watch because they want it to work, but they can't make it work.
And I don't know how you get back from the end of that date.
Well, especially, when you got Anissa coming and literally choking the crap out of Amber and almost taking her life, and then Mark having to deal with Anissa, and then getting to this huge fight because Anissa is saying you have to do your father's duty of taking over this planet, and she's trying to educate him. And what do I have here? When Anissa says you dare interrupt your education. And the one cool thing that Mark does say is, I was never a good student. And just to throw in a quick quote. But you could tell that too for the fact that he was never there for college. But he stands his ground, and he's there, and Cecil's in his ear trying to tell her what she wants.
Yeah.
Just tell her what she wants, Mark. Stop this. Basically, so that way she could leave and they don't have to deal with a crazy Viltrumite just as
Well-
strong as Nolan or multiple versions of them coming down to destroy the Earth. And then that way everything is in Mark's hands. And then he could say, yeah, I took over. But Mark doesn't want to do that. He wants to be honest to what he does. And it's his moral code is there in the sense of like what he needs to do for Earth and stand up for it. So I thought it was like, especially when it's so funny how Mark says, well, you say you need these people, you care for these people because you need them. Like, people are a resource because that's what Viltrumites do. They take over a planet and they utilize the people, those planet dwellers, and use them for what they had their own need, but also looking at Viltrumites as gods. And, which is kind of sucky. But Mark and her go to, which was an awesome battle for a cruise ship and a sea monster at that point.
Dude, that kaiju was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. And the fact that they were working together, but it still ended up in another battle between Anissa and Mark, and his face typically getting punched in. His mask is all beat up and broken. The goggles are shattered. And it's left off at that. And then she kind of just leaves him to go back to the ship to explain.
Yeah.
Basically, she gave him time. It's like, you got enough time now, but keep in mind, after that time is gone, we're coming down, and it's not going to be just me. It's going to be a ton of us, and we're going to just destroy everything and take over this planet, which kind of sucks.
It sucks a lot.
It does.
Speaking as a human on planet Earth.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, wait until that day comes. It's like, I don't want to eat the squiddy things. Like, who knows whatever they eat. Well, I thought, like, I kind of mentioned it too, which was a pretty cool one. The angstrom scene at the very end.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that he gets a phone call and he thinks it's from Debbie, and he goes, "Hey, Mom, what's going on?" And it's no answer. It's like, and then, "When are you coming home?" And it's Angstrom, and he's got I forgot if he had powers or anything, but he had something glowing in the background that was aimed more towards Oliver and Debbie. So basically, he's holding them hostage so that he can get Mark there to do whatever the hell he needs to.
Yeah. Like, he's been sneaking up in these episodes. He started out as a big part of the beginning of the season, and then there's little nuggets of him.
Yeah, they just kind of slip it in there every once in a while to give us these kind of like I said last week, I'm like, the one thing we're missing, the Mahler twins. And I missed that. We left off where they kind of went off in a distance, and that was it. And I was like, when are they coming back?
Yeah, I like them.
But Angstrom was a big to-do in the very beginning of the season. And we only got certain moments with Angstrom in it. And it took how long for us to get the second half to get to where we are now. And obviously, with all the meta that we got in the very beginning, which explains all that. But that ending credit scene when Alan Alien goes against Anissa, which is amazing.
Oh my God, that was so good.
I love it. The fact that it's like she's shocked at you, nope, and is that strong. You're not that strong. You people are never that strong. And then he's taking it left and right, and he dishes it out back at her. And she's bleeding. And then she thinks she has the upper hand. And then Alan, you can see Alan, he kind of winks, even though he's got one eye. He plays kind of dead or unconscious. Yeah. And it's like, you could say that it's like, okay, he's doing this purposely to get in there. And I thought it was cool.
Yeah, between Alan and the possible heroes that we find in the books, like, there's a chance against the Viltrumites. We've just got to get the right crew together.
Correct.
The Guardians are not it.
No, they're a mess.
Yeah, Mark is not it.
Well, Mark is a good start, but to help, but I don't think he's there to lead. I would not be surprised if Nolan comes back in some way
Well, we've got the guy that made Alan powerful. Like if he could do that to Alan, who else can he do that to? And what else do we have going on out there?
Well, Immortal is just as strong of anything of any of all the superheroes that we have from the Guardians of the Globe. It's just that he's a broken man at this point.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And that's what's so sad is somebody is so, I'm not saying it as a joke, but Invincible himself is vulnerable to that point where he can't even get it together because he emotionally cannot get it together. And he doesn't want to lose more people because of what had happened when Rex and the girls together went against the Serpent Society and their dad. And he took it very, very hard. And I feel bad for him. But yeah, it's like I said, the Guardians of the Globe are broken Avengers.
Yep.
I think at this point,
Yeah,
something's got to give.
They need an overhaul or a team building weekend or something. I don't know what.
Yeah. Like they do in businesses, they do those little retreats.
Yeah, with the trust falls and the whatnot.
Yeah. Well, I think Rudy was trying to do that with Monster Girl, but she is not having it. I was waiting for her to just monster out and just smack him down, but I don't think that'll ever happen. But that was it for me, my notes and my thoughts. The only thing I have is like one quote.
I have one or two quotes.
I just have one.
All right, go for it.
It's from Rex in the very beginning when him and Mark are going against the Octoboss and the Squid Boys, as I call them. He goes, "Take care of those other guys as I take care of Davy Jones over here."
I like that one too. That was a good one.
Yeah, so that's all I got out of that. It wasn't very much quotable this episode, but it's got its moments and certain scenes that you pick up and you do enjoy. I'm not saying it was a bad episode, everybody.
No.
I think it's just one of those that was just really good in the series itself and just moved along the story and the plot points of what we needed, especially from Mark.
Yeah, I have Donald when he was talking with Rick we're not our bodies. We're the decisions we make, the lives we change, the people we love or who love us. Like I thought that was a really good.
Yeah.
Even if you're not, half robot, I think that's a good thought.
It's really about Donald and Rick and how they're going through how they're dealing with their healing humanity of being a robot, but it's kind of like that whole feeling of depression.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're not who we are based upon this. It's who we are deep down and what people like about you. Do not do this. And yeah, I thought it was done very well.
And then my last one was funnier. It was back at the beginning at the con. Amber's like, "You can't buy everything, Mark Grayson." And Mark just runs off going, "Watch me." Which I've been there.
I've known a lot of people that did the same thing too. Including myself, where it's like you're like, "I can't afford it. I want this." And then you walk over and you're like, "Why did I buy this?" Like 3 months later.
I have so much artwork from cons, not even talking like stuff that I got signed and stuff that, photo ops and whatever. Like I have actual just artwork I've gotten from artists.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much of it that's just piled up because I haven't gotten frames or hung it on the wall, or I've gotten a frame and I haven't hung it. Like this has been living next to me for almost a year now.
Yeah, I know. I think it was there when you got it. Yeah. Oh, trust me. I think I have a bin full of Kirk Manley's art somewhere with the laminate covers and everything. I think I have Jason and Karen's their official Zedhead Patreon poster.
That's cool. Yeah, I didn't have the funds for that when that came up.
Oh, I got that in the very beginning when you joined the Patreon when you first came out, and I got that in the package. I was like, oh, there we go.
Yeah,
So,
like I have this. It
oh,
sits.
Lost Boys. Yep.
Yep. It needs a better frame before these come off, but it just sits behind my monitor.
She's got a Lost Boys poster signed by Kiefer Sutherland and who else?
Kiefer was the big one. I got they got BX to each other.
Alex Winter.
Yeah. Kiefer Sutherland. Got Dwayne. And then Jason Pastine.
Jason Patrick.
Yeah. Patrick, that's it. Jason Patrick. Then I got to decide. And I got to decide if I want to pay for Corey Feldman's autograph again because I got him once already.
Oh, I got once. I have something from him too. I think I got a Lost Boys 8x10 signed by him years ago when I went to Chiller.
Yeah, I do. I have Friday the 13th is my first love, so he signed my Friday the 13th book. But now I got to decide if I want to add him to the Lost Boys poster or if it's okay the way it is.
Well, he'll honestly at any convention he'll sign anything as long as you pay him.
Oh yeah,
and,
and you don't tell him his music sucks.
Oh, he was trying to pawn that off on me,
God.
and yeah,
His wife at the time, one of his angels, was there talking up a show, and I had to pretend that I liked his music and I was going to go.
Oh God!
Spoiler:
no.
I didn't go.
I attend like Monster Mania and Chiller and everything, and of course, there's a typical Jersey resident that we all know who goes there and frequents them or crashes them himself, and his name is Scott Schwartz. We all know Schwartz from A Christmas Story. He played Flick. He was also in the Toy Story. No, the toy. Sorry, the toy.
The toy.
Richard
Different
Pryor
movie.
And
Different movie.
And Kidco, if you all remember that. So that's all that Schwartz's claim to fame was throughout those years of being a child actor. So when I met Corey Feldman, and at the time my boss and my friend Ralph's like, oh, maybe we get a deal, get a few of these, and they'll cut the price down. I'm like, no, they
don't do that.
But Schwartz was pushing the whole, hey, Mark, you should get this. And I'm like, one, Scott, get away from me. Two, I don't want his music. I didn't say it sucked.
But though.
He was playing the CD, and Schwartz was kissing Corey's butt at the time.
Because that's what you have to do to Corey.
And during that time, Schwartz wasn't a big thing, and they weren't doing Christmas Story go backs or anything. Now Schwartz will get like, oh, we're gonna have a Christmas Story convention reunion.
Yeah.
So now Schwartz is more prevalent because they just put out the sequel to A Christmas Story that the kid who played Ralphie, or the guy who played Ralphie, did recently in this past year or two. But to me, I was just like, stop pawning that stuff off me. I don't want that. No. I was like, I knew, and this is my opinion, everybody. It's not everybody's opinion, but the way I feel about Corey Feldman, he was a great actor as a kid actor. There was a lot of stuff going on between him and Corey Haim.
Yeah, they had it rough. They didn't have an easy time.
They didn't have an easy time, but it's like we lost Corey Haim and we got stuck with Feldman, and Feldman is Crazy Pants City in my opinion.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
that's my
valid
opinion.
Reasons for being Crazy Pants City, but he is Crazy Pants City.
Yeah,
and the way he treats the angels, he should know better.
Oh yeah,
because of how he was treated, he should know better.
It's
but I will give him. He does one thing that I always enjoy when I go to a con and I see the autograph prices, and it's $25 more if you don't have your name put on it, because then it's for resale. And I kind of like it when they discourage the resellers.
They do, but there's a way around it.
Because there's nothing worse than standing online and then the person in front of you whips out like 20 pop figures and you're like,
I had somebody show me this. They went to go see Christina Ricci at a Monster Mania, and they were showing me their stuff. It was a woman. I don't know if she was trying to pick me up or what, but she was young, she was pretty. But she goes, "Oh, I was just online with Christina Ricci," and I'm like counting how many, and I know the cost because I was just
Yeah.
talking to Sean Clark. $120 a pop.
Yep.
She had like 20.
She's either a reseller or she's there's people who either as a side gig or as their main gig, they go to these cons and they get autographs for other people.
Yeah. And I'm
Which
like,
great if you can do it. I just am personally I personally don't need an autograph of somebody if I haven't met them.
mm-hmm.
But I know other people like having autographs. My cousin used to write, like, way back in the 80s and early 90s. He used to write to people
to get the autographs.
To get the autographs come back.
Yeah.
And he has this whole book of all these autographs of people he hand wrote letters to. Like, so
I really love your stuff. That's like the coop. Oh, there was actually a movie I recently watched, which makes me laugh. Reminds me of that. It's the Kristen Bell's in it and somebody else. And they and it was based on a true story. They literally were writing in like abrasive letters to like all these cereal companies, anything that would you get a coupon for. So she was getting all these massive coupons for free stuff. And then she made it a market scheme. It's just so funny. But there are those people, like you said, that they'll go out there and they'll literally just make it their job, or some people are just compulsive buyers or just love that.
Yeah.
I can't say that I wasn't guilty of that when Haru Nakajima or Kenpachiro Satsuma was at a con, and I got a lot of autographs from them. But it's hard to get when you got Japanese suit actors for Godzilla films coming to the States, and they're invariably there, especially them at that age. Now, both Haru and Kenpachiro are dead. We only have one remaining Godzilla suit actor. So, yeah. And Kitagawa is the only one that's left. And it's sad, but G-Con is still prevalent, and it's great in Chicago and in Japan. But I have just a book dedicated of autographs from every Toho person I've met and
That's
Godzilla.
cool.
So I dedicate that book to that. But I was surprised. I was like, I actually gave one of my autographs because my sister wanted one. I was like, yeah, you want this one? I got more than enough of this.
Aww.
So she handed it back to you. I don't want this anymore. I was like, okay, thank you. I take it back. But the thing is that it's like a lot of people don't. I did that for the fact that you can't find that actor anymore. They can't personalize it if they're
right.
foreign too, by the way, especially when they write it in Japanese and you don't even know. It's like, oh, crazy American. I'm going to say fuck off in Japanese.
That's fine. I'm okay with it.
You know, you have the those are the symbols for soup on your back. I forgot. Somebody had that in a movie. It was like, no, that's the symbol. Oh, it was the Big Bang Theory. Why do you have soup written on your back or something? She goes, no, it's not. It says love. He goes, no, that's a soup. Or in Colossal, when she went to a tattoo person that does North Korean. And she had to get words, and then she was able to get the words that she needed to write out.
Yeah.
It was funny. But he told them a convoluted story. But anyhow, we digress. We are looking forward to the next episode of Invincible. It will be the last for this season, which is episode 8. So listen to us when that does come out. I'm hoping to get these episodes out a little bit sooner. There was a bit of an issue, obviously, with work and everything for me. So I edited it and got it up it's April Fool's, so it's April 1st. I got it up literally this morning. By the time I actually uploaded and released it, it was this morning. But we're recording tonight for this particular episode, which came out on Thursday. But we will be more prevalent. We still have to do, when Steve gets back, he and I are going to cover the first 4 episodes, I believe, of X-Men, or just do an overall look at what we liked about the episodes, where they're going with the story points and the plots. And then obviously Echo will do our overall synopsis of that. Look forward to on Adrenaline Cinema for Interview with Vampire with Lara, Daniel, Rima, and myself. But that's just to keep you apprised of what's going on. But with that in the news, obviously there's been a few things that have been going on. We unfortunately lost a person, not comic book related, but Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
That was a bummer. But for anything comic book related or superhero show related, we did lose Chance Perdomo of Gen V. And he died in a motorcycle accident, unfortunately. So they had to halt filming for Gen V and The Boys.
Really sad.
And The Boys, because they were trying to integrate them into The Boys series. So he was also on Sabrina at one point too. So he's been known. He was very young. I think he was like 27. And it's sad. I think it's wise that they halted production and they're going to take their time. So we're not going to be getting The Boys or Gen V anytime soon, ladies and
Which is
gentlemen.
fair.
Which is fair. It makes sense. It's really sad though that that all happened. But other than that, we're looking forward to. Apparently, we're going to get a Deadpool Wolverine trailer probably in July. They're saying so. Look forward to that coming up.
That's exciting.
More and more leaks are coming out. Ghostbusters. What was it called?
Frozen Kingdom?
Frozen Kingdom or Frozen Empire? Or I don't know.
Frozen something.
Yeah, Frozen something. You saw it though, right, Jamie?
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay, I saw it as well. I really enjoyed it. In comparison to the last one that came out, it was okay.
Yeah,
still better than the second Ghostbusters. Everybody,
I like that one too.
The second one was kind of goofy. They lost money on it, but I listened to and I watched something on YouTube about what they were trying to do over the years for a third Ghostbusters, and I could see what they were trying to do. But I thought this was okay. It was pretty good. I liked the story. It was a bit long, in my opinion. And yeah,
I mean, I can see why people who didn't like it. But I believe if you're honestly a fan of Ghostbusters, of the franchise, that you would like it.
Yeah.
If you're not a fan, I don't think it's worth seeing.
Yeah. You can wait for it for streaming. I'm pretty sure eventually it'll be out there. If you're looking for a proton pack that they sell at AMC theaters, they are sold out.
Yes.
And on top of that, as well as the
you got yours.
Yes, I got the Ghost Trap.
Oh, that's so
popcorn
cool.
holder.
That's so cool.
So I was stuck in a queue for a while and I accidentally hit twice, but I had 2 per in each queue. So I have 4.
I will buy one off of you.
And we were talking about this last week. Apparently, a friend Megan was waiting online. They missed out by 2 people, but apparently her husband Forrest bought one on eBay.
Yay, Forrest.
So he came through and she goes, I don't need one, sell it. I was like, okay. So I have, I'm only holding on to one. I'm not going to, it's like,
no, I'll buy one of your extras off you. They're pretty cool.
They're pretty cool. So I have those, but they're very hard to come by. Very much like the Dune popcorn bucket, which everybody is so
liked for a different reason.
Yeah, infatuated over due to sexual innuendos. And that's what's out. That's current right now. I do recommend going to see Ghostbusters like Jamie does if you're a fan. If you're not, then I would wait. And if you're interested in just barely, just watch it on streaming when it does come out. Everything's going to be coming out on streaming soon. Godzilla -1. Good news too about the new Godzilla X Kong, which I have not seen. Rob has seen it, and Rob's in the middle of moving, not podcasting, but he really did enjoy Godzilla X Kong, which is surprising from me.
My boyfriend went and gave blood today and got a T-shirt for the movie.
Oh, awesome! Was it his size at least, or
yeah?
Oh,
You can get some bonus they're running this month for. So if you can go give blood, if you want a cool free T-shirt, all you gotta do is give blood and save a life for 3. I think you can save 3 lives with one donation.
Yeah. So do so. Go out there and donate. And other than that, that's it for me for comic news. I didn't want to really flood everything. Podcast recommendations. Well, we always tell everybody to check out podcastica.com.
Yes.
Currently into the Buffyverse Still Slaying podcast is out there. Check it out with Penny and Kara. They just did Heathers. I think they're doing another one in between seasons, which is pretty cool. But they did Heathers with Jason on there, which is so funny because he's never seen Heathers.
I can't believe he hadn't seen Heathers before.
And Jason and Lucy are still continuing their stuff with the ones that live.
They are knocking it out of the park.
Yeah.
The show is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, if we wrap this up soon, maybe I'll go watch that last episode.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give away or spoil anything, but if you haven't seen it, check out the last episode. You won't regret it if you've watched Walking Dead all these years, and you'll feel better about yourself at the end. That's all I'm saying. That's not a giveaway or anything. It to me, it's like, let's wrap things up a little bit, and that's how I felt. And it also leaves you off going, what else could happen? So
yeah, that's good.
So it's one of those of, it makes you think. But check out podcastica.com. Check all that out. Strange Indeed is I think they're doing stuff. I don't know if Rima and Paik are still on a break. And then Daphne and Paik on Run for Your Lives. I haven't been keeping up on theirs.
I'm way behind on a lot of podcasts.
Same here. It's like, think about it. I was behind on editing, so like, think about me listening.
Yeah.
So I've been keeping up with Wilhelm and the Wilhelm Podcastica revisited podcast for Ted Lasso. So I've been listening to that. But check that out.
Penny and Greg are doing one for the show Extraordinary.
Oh, yes. And that's actually a show I have to catch up on, too.
I'm halfway through the season. Yeah, it's so funny. Oh, my God, that show is so funny.
So if you want to watch anything that has superhero people in it, but it's kind of goofy and British, watch it.
Yeah, it's so funny.
And then check out Penny and Greg on Podcastica, too.
Yeah, they're also doing a great job.
All right. Well, honestly, we didn't get any feedback because I didn't put anything down for this one for feedback. So I screwed myself. But then again, you know what? You have options to always send in feedback at any given time. And with that, you can do so by just going to our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/panels to pixels. And that's it. Just write anything in Messenger or just put a comment down for anything that we have. We'll read it. We'll state it on the actual podcast. We also have an email. All you have to do is email us directly at panelstopixels1@gmail.com. That's panels, 2 is spelled out TO, pixels, the number 1@gmail.com. We'll read anything you type out, or if you want, you just could record yourself and we'll play it as, just put it in as an attachment. I'll play it on the podcast. You can be part of the podcast. Or if you want to ever be on the podcast too, all you have to do is just contact us and have fun. We could be heard on, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast player of choice. There are ratings or reviews there. So if you could do so, that would be greatly appreciated. Give us 5 stars. Actually, if you could type out one, it'd be so greatly appreciated. And thank you. 5 stars is always recommended, but just be honest about it. So thank you very much ahead of time. Follow your heart. To let you know too, apparently Google Podcasts is no longer a thing anymore. So those of you who are listening and don't know where to go to get us, and you're listening to on perhaps right now on YouTube, because we have a YouTube Panels to Pixels podcast page. Subscribe, like, and ring the bell, and tell a friend, obviously, too. So it's literally just a podcast on that. But for you that are listening now and don't have that ability, and we're listening to on Google Podcasts, Google Podcast is done, just like Stitcher was. So a lot of them are going away, but the mainstays are usually Spotify and Apple Podcasts right now. But yeah, and then just also mention a friend whenever you can. So I've already mentioned where you could hear me elsewhere, an Adrenaline Cinema podcast, possibly Fantasy Picks Movie Edition. Rob is still changing up the format, and when he finishes moving, come the end of May, probably he'll be back and ready to go in rare form with a new idea on how we'll be podcasting on that. So you could hear me there if you want. And that's about it for me. Jayme, you could hear me and her. We were talking about recently doing a Sandman cast again when that comes back.
I'm so excited for it to come back.
So I have to talk to Jason. I don't know. I brought it up to him and he goes, wait, you don't have to do it for podcast. Good. I'm like, I would like to, but I'll throw it out, offer it to him, but we could definitely leave it here if need be too. It could be a dual podcast.
Do a cross-platform thing too, whatever we want.
Yeah, if we wanted to. So you could hear Jayme and I there on Sandman Cast when we do that here, possibly too, which is going to be interesting. It'll be fun. And we'll continue our adventures on with Sandman. You could hear Jayme on Adrenaline Cinema podcast. She was watched it in the 80s. Were you ever on Wilhelm?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
I did the Halloween episodes except 2023 because he didn't have one. And then you and I did the very first Christmas episode with him.
That is
so we
true.
found the softer side of Mark. Still, I think that is still the favorite podcast I've ever done. So if you want to go into the archives of the Wilhelm podcast, I think the 2022 Christmas special is probably the favorite podcast I've ever done.
It's funny.
It's so much fun.
Everybody's like, Mark's a softie. He likes romance comedies. What's up with this? Now, if you listen to Kristen and Ben when they're talking about Ted Lasso, Kristen hates romance comedies or anything rom-coms. She's all about Fast and the Curious, or the Furious. Sorry, but it's just her personality and what she likes. I was a gearhead too. I think about Adrenaline Cinema. I liked everything action. All right, so with that, that's where you could check us out and hear us. But for what we're doing here, I just want to thank everybody for listening. It's always fun to do these podcasts, and that's a wrap pretty much on Invincible Season 2, Episode 7. So thanks everybody for listening. I'm Mark.
I'm Jayme.
And this was Panels to Pixels podcast, and we'll see you on the next panel. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.